Hi, Dougie Burt here from Dougie Burt's Tackle World on the Gold Coast. Just want to give you an update on what's been happening in the fishing scene and what to expect for this weekend. So it's Friday the 5th of June and we're talking about the 6th and the 7th of June, even tonight if you want to go out. So what's been happening? So I'll start offshore. The big snapper finally arrived. There's a couple of crackers caught this week around that 90 centimetre mark, just on the close reefs off the Gold Coast on the 18 fathom pinnacle, straight in front of the seaway. So around that sort of 27.56 and that's south, and 153.28 or 27 east, 28 east actually. Look around that area. If you know that area, it's where we catch Spanish mackerel as well. Plenty of jewies there just on dark, and still a few big cobia there as well on live baits. You don't need to go to live bait reefs in closer than that to get your live bait. You just get it out there. There's plenty out there. Just look around the pinnacles and you'll find the bait, drop your bait jig down and catch them. And you can fish on the same spot. The boys catch the big snapper. They're using a few different methods. One popular method is just to float line, which means you send your bait down really slowly to the bottom. So we're using I use Lumo sinkers, around about sort of in close there, around about probably quarter to maximum 3/4 ounce. And that's on braid that's sort of anywhere from 15 pounds through about 30 pounds. And I'm using two snelled Shinto hooks that are snelled on 40-pound mono. The reason why I use 40-pound mono is, and trust me, on those bigger fish like that sort of size, you probably really actually might even need 60, 80, even 100. They will just smash on the bottom, and they'll just rip 30 or 40 pound apart. But generally speaking, it's not too bad. 40 pounds, mostly sort of fish up to about 70 centimetres, all cool. And I'm running the sinker right on top of the two hooks that are snelled together. When I use my pilchard, my WA pilly, I actually cut the tail off. It doesn't spin. A bit of blood comes out the back, and I just cut the tail section off, and then I run the bottom hook sort of halfway down, stick it out the side, not through it, but through the side, into the skeleton and out to the side. Don't go through the backbone. And the other one's either through the nose or through here and pinned out through the top of his mouth. It's just personal preference really. And I'm either, if it's no wind, I just drop it straight down, let it feed down, and then I let the fish sort of take on the way down. You just feel it take off 100 miles an hour. Spin out of your hands, using overhead, just screams off. You're using a spin reel, it screams off. And it's just a matter of just make sure your drag set prior, and then just whacking it and you're on. Until it gets off the bottom and out of that cover. So that's in close there. Around the seaway itself, just outside the seaway, there's been a few little bonito, Watson sleeping bonito, which is the ones that spots on them. They're actually quite good eating. They're really good mackerel baits for next season. And then there's also a few trevally and a few tailor as well, just outside the seaway. So further out, 24 fathom reef, plenty of trade due at night. We've got the moon in the sky at night time at the moment. So please always remember, no matter where the moon is, day or night, the best bite time is when the moon's above us, not below us. Don't know what it is, so always of these full moon, it's always during the night, so your best fishing's at night time and running right through to the moon goes down. I think tomorrow morning it's about 7 o'clock, and then the fishing will drop off a bit after the moon goes down. They'll still bite, but they just don't bite as good. And then there'll be another hot bite as the moon rises, sort of around about 6 or 7 at night again. So yeah, 24 fathoms, pretty trade. They bite at night time, obviously, on the moon. There's a few big jewies out there too, the snapper, quite a few parrotfish and marry cod, and just basic bottom demersal type fish. You can also get them on little micro jigs, soft plastics, have a bit of fun, octi jigs, and just your light tackle. If you want to catch a cobia again, same deal, get your live baits. Put three, I'm fishing particularly just for cobia. I'll put out 3 baits. I'll put probably 1 or 2 down close to the bottom, or on the bottom, up one turn. I put one sort of with a smaller sinker on it. So the bigger one, the bottom ones I'm using about a 3 ounce or 4 ounce. I'm using maybe a whole tail of 40 centimeters, or I'm using a big yak or a bigger slimy. And I'm pinning them down because they'll swim up the sinker, so you need to adjust your sinker size to hold it down there so it doesn't swim away from the fish, which is what they would be doing, or I'd be doing if I was a fish. Try and go hard. And anyhow, and then I run mid water on about on that sort of size bait, probably about a 1 ounce sinker, which will sort of hold it in position, but it will swim away if it wants to. And then I put one out the top. I rarely use a balloon to throw it at the top and let it swim around. But if it's a bit of wind blowing, take advantage of the balloon because it gets it away from the other lines. So the wind will blow the balloon away from the other lines. And it's a good idea to give you that free swimming one away from the other bait so it doesn't get tangled up. Yeah, so that's on the 24s. Out further on the 36 fathom reefs, heaps of snapper starting it there as well. The snapper really come in this last week, like I said. So the snapper fishing, just same deal, float lining. The beauty of out there is you get a bite that probably goes through at about 10 o'clock at least on the floaters, where in close it's sort of all over by about 8 o'clock normally or 7. And you can also get your decent sized snapper out there just on bottom fishing with a paternoster rig with, with 3 sets of hooks. I use pillies on the top one on the gang, 350s, and I use a couple of circle hooks around 6.0 in closer there with squid. So pilly, squid, about a 12-ounce sinker in that scenario. And you can fish with cobia there too, plenty of cobia. I caught it 36s as well. They'll take pillies out there, they'll take live baits, whatever. And then out further again on the 50 fathom reef, like I said last week, the fishing's really come on last week. And the bottom fishing's it's in full swing now, I think. Everything. So whether you're catching nice snapper, decent big pearlies, especially on the outside edge in that 90 to 120 metre mark. There's plenty of parrotfish and the really big parrot too, by the way, or tuskfish, that should get called. There's also pigfish and plenty of this year. Most I've seen for quite a few years. Plenty of the they're like a flame snapper. Sorry, cut. I'll come back to you. Give me 1 sec. Rosy jobfish, that's what they're called, rosy jobfish. So the rosy jobs, they're just one of the best eating fish we get off our coast here. Actually, probably some people would rate them better than pearl perch. They are really good, and they're extremely good little fighters, and they're just really good bang for buck fillets. So you get a fish that's maybe 55 centimetres, probably weighs around about 2 kilos at that size, maybe a bit more. And its head is about the size of my 2 thumbs, and its tail's quite normal, but it's quite round like that. It's not actually like shaped like a normal fish, it's quite round. And the fillets are really thick, and its little tiny head is this massive big fillet, and extremely nice to eat. So rosy jobfish, they look like a sort of, like a king snapper, but they're not that flame snapper. They're that more sort of lavender, pearly, purpley green type of colour, but they go red. Yeah, so they're really good. Last week we got actually ready to fish for an hour. We got 7 of them, so that was quite a good catch for the boat. And yeah, so there's also kingies and amberjacks. So this last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of kingies and amberjacks out on the 50 fathom reefs, and these guys get them jigging as well. Marker jigs, if you want to have a bit of fun, good luck getting some of them up. But definitely you sort of, in your flutter jigs, 180 to about 300, and your long jigs about 200 to 300 grams. And you're using sort of P3 to P5, 9, or a bit heavier if you want, P8. And we actually had a guy bring a kingy the other day, put up his boat in front of the shop here, and our scales went 25 kilo, they bottomed out, but it's one of the best yellowtail kings I've seen for quite a while out here. It's probably a solid 30 kilos, I dare say. And he got that on his little Torium 14, I think, little P3 outfit, so he did extremely well to get that up. The amberjacks are starting too, so you've got to remember the next few months is all go. So kingies, amberjacks right through to sort of late September, early October, out the front here on the wide reefs, and give that a go. And out further, in that sort of 200 metre line, the bar cod, 200, 300 metres, bar cod, and the odd flamies around, and other mixed reef species. You remember you get snapper and kingies and all your pigfish and everything out to about 280 metres. So if you've got the boat to do it and you want to explore a bit, just go a bit wider. Zoom into about a 20 metre window on this outer, look around, and you get a few. That's probably about offshores. Just one other thing I'll cover real quickly is just trolling. If you want to go wide, the weather looks really good for this Sunday, by the way. 10 knots all day, they're saying. I would be probably going out maybe to around riv grounds or just inside riv grounds, starting about 200 metres and out to wherever you want to go, riv or like Jim's Mountain. Definitely a few blue marlin being caught again. They were a bit quiet there for a while, but they're back on the bite again. There's a few big dollies amongst them and the odd big wahoo. And also, if you get around that sort of 600 metre line and further, you might pick up a couple of school yellowfins, a big yellowfin around that sort of 30, 40 kilo plus size. They will take stick bait, so if you're brave enough to take a stick bait rod out, have it ready rigged, and if you see the birds diving in the horizon, just quickly get your lines in, zoom over there and start casting, and no doubt you'll hook up straight away on using a 180 mil or 300 size, a massive stick bait. They'll take it, don't worry about that. Otherwise you get on skirts, trolling about 8 knots. Okay, spanner crabs are in on the sort of 50 metre line straight east of Q1. That's about it offshore. For those of you who fish inshore, to start the Jumpinpin area. The Jumpinpin area has been pretty good for flatties this week. They've been definitely starting to bite well. They should be, because it's about the time they start. The size is not massive, there's a few good ones amongst them, but generally speaking, most of them are around that sort of probably 50 centimetres, 45 to 55 centimetres is the average size, which is a good size, really good eating size. They'll take soft plastics, obviously, all around the bedroom, tipless channel, and even on cleaning a bank on the western side, give that a go as well. And then also Jacob's Well, sort of to Cabbage Street Point, and Cabbage Street Point on the base, and they're heading up to Rocky Point. All good areas to troll as well and cast. So trolling lures out of the flats on the high tide, so little sort of 1.5 metre divers at about 2 to 3 k's an hour. Remember, flatties don't like trolling more than 4 k's an hour. That's like the massive limit of high speed for trolling for flatties, and that's in extreme winds when you're going downwind and need to get your lure down, so you've got to go a little bit faster to get it to dive, otherwise it just falls on top. So yeah, remember that 4 k's maximum, but best speed is around 2 k's to 3. 2's good. And keep working your rod as you troll along, dropping it back. And when you drop it back is when they hit it. Also around the jumping area, plenty of whiting up the top end of the South Australia there, where the bays are, a couple of little bays there. A few squid in there as well. And make sure you take squid jigs. There's so many flathead fish at this time that you should always have a squid jig ready set up. If you see one hook up onto your soft plastic, or that you see them come up following it, as soon as you throw that squid jig in straight at it, they'll just grab it on the fall and it'll be on. Arrow squid and the calamari squid. Also, a few tailor were caught this week up on when that west loop lure midweek on the northern tip of South Australia, in that little clear gut up there. It's really good fishing there. It's quite protected. You're sort of not outside the bar, inside the bar, but there's a bank between you and Strady, and that gutter in there stays pretty flat. So just be careful always of the swell. But when there's not much swell, it's definitely a good spot to cast metals and cast little stick baits around, and decent tail as well. A few muddies up in the Pimpamar River, and a few muddies in the Logan River, always in the deeper holes. On these bigger tides at night, they don't seem to get up the creeks like they do on the dark moon. I like the dark moon up in the creeks at night time, which is you sort of get in at high tide, drop your pots out in like 1 metre or 2 metres deep wherever the holes. I remember your pots can't be dry at low tides against the law, so they've got to be underwater all the time. And when the water comes in the next morning, get it back up and check them again. You can only get access to those little creeks at high tide. Broadwater. Okay, Broadwater's been fishing seaway, as I said before. Seaway's really good. There's been lots of jewies caught there this week on live baits. Don't know if you all know this, I probably shouldn't say this, but I will tell you this, is that there are heaps of yellowtail to be caught inside the seaway. You don't need to go ashore and you get yellowtail, so if it's blowing 30, 40 knots or 4 metre seas, you can't get through the seaway to get your live bait, you just go to the end of Wavebreak Island, you get the heaps. You just got to make room for the other boats there that go there just to catch them, to eat them. So a lot of people eat yellowtail, because it's actually very good eating. For those of you who haven't tried, I dare say recommend one day to try it. They're very, very nice to eat. But heaps there, so just on the sabiki rigs. And I would definitely say get your live baits, go at the end of the north wall. There's not much swell on, and fish around in the north wall. There's a hole there, it's about 20 metres deep, and that's where the jewies and the mangrove jacks and the trevally and everything sits in, and good fishing there. Inside the seaway, come back down towards Wavebreak Island, just drifting from Wavebreak, front of the north wall of Wavebreak, all the way up to sort of near front of Reno Bay, all the way through the channel. It's all coffee rock. It's all been like taken out, the sand's been taken out, just leaves the coffee rock on the bottom. Like a little reef actually all the way through there. And it's extremely good for catching like reef species, like tusk fish and small snappers and cods and stuff like that. You'll also get sole or flounder, good size too, up to about 40 centimetres. Heaps of bream, of course. The odd big flatty and the odd jewie as well. So yeah, and you just drift with a really light line, like 3 to 6 kilo, 15 pound max in braid, sort of around that 12 pound leader, and just using like small vibes, small soft vibes and soft plastics, and you more or less just drifting along with the current, not as really raging, but it's not too bad. And you just hopping your little jig just maybe 150 mil off the bottom, and then letting it sit again, and then drag it a bit, and then just lift it again. They sort of follow, as soon as they see it lift and they fall, that's when I hit it. Sometimes I'll just jump on it in here, but quite easy fishing. It's not like aggressive, flatty type lifting. It's very soft and subtle. So that's around the seaway. Around the back of wave break, there's always whiting at the back of wave break. There's plenty of whiting at the Rang River, and also around Rhino Bay areas, but not too bad. Around Crab Island's been alright. A few flatties around Crab Island, a few flatties around the Aldershots, and a few flatties around Browns Inlet, both sides of Browns Inlet and on the outside edge of it as well in the Broadwater. And up the rivers, there's a few flatties up around the Coomba Creek area and in the Pimpama, as I said earlier. And probably if you want to have a go at some trevally inside the river on the run out tide, which is quite late at night at the moment, but you could try up around the boys' school or further up around Chevron Island Bridge. They seem to sit this time of the year, they're up there on the run out tide. Around even the council chamber's not too bad a spot as well. On the canals are like little back eddies there, and you'll hear the trevally chopping around as these little surface poppers. Further down the Gold Coast, definitely probably try beach fishing, especially on Sunday. The weather's really good, so I'd be probably chasing anything from dart, bream, whiting, good sized bream at the moment, all the way from sort of Tugun right down through to probably Brunswick, Ocean Shores area, and just using the yabbies and pippies. And for tail, I just try at night time on the first of the run-in tides. As the tide comes over that back bank and fills up the gutter and you get a nice clean opening, that's when I'll be trying for the tailor. So you're talking at the moment, I think low tide on the beach at the moment is around about 2 or 3 o'clock. So around 4:30, 5 o'clock, that bank should be covered up a bit, and the fish should be able to come into the gutters and start feeding. And that's when you guys are ping them off, hopefully, with pilchards or whatever you want to use. You might get the odd jewie too if you want to get a tail and cut a slab off it and throw it back out again. Jewie, not many sharks around this time of year, so that's not too bad. So yeah, good luck on that. Also in the Tweed River, there's plenty of whiting around the mouth. There's plenty of whiting up, even right up to the sugar mill, right up. Plenty of whiting around. Any yabbies or worms, of course. Around the Trevally, for Trevally at night time, try around the bridge, Boys Bay Bridge, and also around the jetties there. A bit of lights there at night time. Chance you'll get some trevally at night time and stick baits and poppers as well. In the Crumlin and Talbudget Creeks, like there's always bream, there's always flatty there. You never miss. You just gotta get at the back a little bit. Around the mouths, don't fish that well. They look good. You get a few white in there, but it's not as good as further up the river, up around the highway bridges. So maybe that's where you got to look at that area. A few flatties up there this time of year as well. Crabs wise, get the odd big muddy in the Tweed this time of year still. But yeah, give that a shot maybe. And that's about probably it on the beaches. And oh, sorry, just didn't mention before about the beach on the Spit Beach, which is up this end of town at Southport and Surface. Try for tailor there, same deal. Just good tides this weekend for tailor, and I'll be fishing probably just near the jetty there, or Phillip Park near SeaWorld, or at Narrowneck and towards Focus Building. So just try along that whole area there, look for a good gutter, and get down there in about 4:30 and fish for pilchards, and good luck on that. Okay, out of the dams have been pretty good at the moment, especially the Hinze Dam. The Hinze Dam is just this big bass that has been going on forever. There's a few guys out there that really crank it up. Mick and Mel, they do really well. They're getting fish up around that sort of mid 50 centimetre size, which is pretty big. Steve's getting a few. as well. They're getting them on anything from like micro jigs, so 30 gram micro jigs. You need to find where the school is. They're feeding them bait. They're generally in about sort of 40 or 50 foot of water, but they school up in about 18 to 25 feet. That's the depth they seem to like, and they always have liked in dams. And that's what you need to do when you're trolling or casting, whatever you're focusing on. That's the depth where they are. So it's hard to hop a plastic in 30 foot of water when they're sitting in 18 foot of water. So you lift it up, but you can lift it pretty high. So we're working a jig straight above the school. You can actually work the jig up through the school slowly, of course. So you can just lift up and let it flutter back down. And then the other area would be amongst the timbers, early morning, late afternoon. Try surface lures, spinner baits, and get up amongst that timber. Soft plastic's good too, and just slowly switch it out through the timber. A few Saratoga around as well. I think we got one today actually. And yeah, so give that a go. That's probably about all I need to tell you. Squid's the other thing too. We put a thing on YouTube on squidding the other day. Just watch our YouTube channel, guys, and on there you'll see lots of information. But starting to come, we're just starting it. But we do it on squidding, and heaps of customers now are catching their first squid. Some of them are actually annoying me because they catch them more than I do, and they're first timers. So I'll go out and get like 3 or 4 in a session at the moment. They'll send me a picture of 8, and they've never even done it before. It's like, oh gosh. But they're learning where to go, they're learning how to do it, which is really good. So I'm happy to see that for all you guys. And hopefully whatever we teach you will make you a better fisherman and make you enjoy it more. So yeah, go for it, enjoy it. And next Thursday night, we're doing a live cross from here. We're just going to do a quick talk on catching dewies, how to rig up the bait. So I have everything here. I'll show you how to do it all and how I do it, and give it a shot. Okay, good luck, and have a good weekend. The weather's fantastic. Tomorrow 10-15 knots, and Sunday is 10 knots variable, so they're saying a bit of southerly. The current at the moment is about 1 knot, I think, 1.2 knots out wide. So get out there, enjoy it, and good luck, and be safe. Thank you, bye-bye.